Hello and welcome to another episode of Penz's Garage and Fabrication. Today we're working on my 91 Subaru xt6. My wife got me this handy dandy camera stand so I don't have to hold on to the camera all the time. Awesome, thank you wifey. So today we're going to talk about the AC system on these. If you have a 80s or early 90s Subaru and you've messed with the AC system on these, you know that they have this weird sensor right here. And what that guy does is it has, I think these little teeth guys, yeah, 3 of them. It reads the speed, it's just a speed sensor, is all it is really, guys. It's a speed sensor to monitor the RPMs at the crank and the RPMs here to know if the belt is slipping. And if the belt's slipping, shuts down the AC clutch, you lose your AC, but it keeps from toasting a compressor or smoking your belt. So, I mean, it was a nice safety feature, but cannot find parts for them anymore. I searched everywhere. I could not find that speed sensor. And, you know, like 10 years ago when I crashed into a deer at 65 miles an hour, pushed my radiator sport up in here and my hood and broke my sensor. What's the guy to do? It used to plug in right there. No more AC. That sucked. Well, I was searching through forums and stuff and I found, hey, this cool guy, and I apologize, I do not remember who you were or what forum I was looking on. Sorry. But found you, and you made this cool modification to your Loyale where they took a couple wires under the dash. A couple wires under the dash, they cut them, spliced 2 together. Hey! Now the compressor will run because it bypasses the speed sensing system altogether. But because you don't have that speed sensing system, you might notice I don't have a belt on here. Yeah, beware of that. So when you have your car on defrost, it always runs the compressor a little bit to help pull the moisture out of the air. Because your AC system actually pulls some of that moisture out of the air and it collects on the evaporator and drips down. And you've got a little vent hole that drips that water out, and that's that water dripping out of your car when it's super hot. So it pulls that moisture out of the air, making your windows defog that much faster. But it runs the AC compressor. Now I was not running the AC, but I had done this modification, purposely not running the AC because I knew it was low on refrigerant. It was not cooling very well. I think at an idle it would cool a little bit, but then you pick up the RPMs and then it wasn't really doing much. It was doing some funny stuff. It was definitely low on refrigerant. Low on refrigerant, probably low on oil, or low on, I mean, being that it's low on refrigerant, it can't circulate the oil as well, I think. I know a little bit about automotive AC, but not proficient in that. I know enough to get me in trouble, basically. But so I didn't realize it was running. I knew that they do that. They run in the defrost mode, but it hadn't clicked. I went to North Carolina with the car. Heck yes, I hopped in my xt6 and I drove several hundred miles because these cars are awesome. Awesome on the highway, great gas mileage. Even with the compressor clutch locking up, I started smelling and burning rubber. I'm like, what in the heck is this? You know, I get behind a semi, you know, sometimes you'll smell their stuff getting too hot, the brakes or whatever. So I thought maybe it was that semi. I get past that semi, finally. No, I'm still smelling it. And then I think I noticed a little puff of smoke from under my hood. I was like, yeah, I better pull over. The car was running fine. I really had no other clue, aside from the smell, that, and it was getting great gas mileage. I'd gone a large section of the journey, maybe not quite halfway, so a few hundred miles before realizing this. And so I popped the hood, and it has overheated the clutch, and it's smoking the belt. So beware of that. Carry an extra belt if you do this modification. And I would also carry a bypass belt. You know, they're small, you can throw them in the trunk. It'll give you some peace of mind on a long trip, just in case something did fail. And that's not to say that these aren't reliable. They are very reliable. I love this car, I love this engine. If you keep up with your maintenance. One of the big things was my oil pump seals were bad. Got that sorted out. Runs great still. So, aside from those, you know, keeping your timing belts changed and all that, very reliable. So it smoked the belt on me. It locked up the compressor, smoked the clutch on the compressor, smoked the belt. However, I made it to North Carolina. Not all the way to my destination, mind you, but I made it to North Carolina from Tennessee on that belt slipping and the clutch partially locked up with the compressor completely locked up. And this car seems to love me. It snapped that belt and I saw the headlights dim right at an exit. I took that exit, pulled into a gas station, and shut it off right there. So it worked out great. I didn't overheat my engine. That's one of the things with these. Don't overheat them. I've heard rumor in the chat rooms that if you overheat them, it does some damage, and they're not great with overheating. You can always repair it, but I mean, the guys that have these cars, really, most of us don't have much money. So if you overheat it, you're looking at more money into fixing it so that you can drive it, and less money into making it cooler. So this modification I came up with, it is not the same as the Loyale. And I kind of got off track with my AC compressor experience. I apologize for that. I do that sometimes. So let's go inside the car and I'll show you. Here we are under the dash. Hang on, let me get the light on. No, this is not a Monster commercial, by the way. I just like Monsters. I don't drink coffee, so that's what I drink. I like cold beverages. But I took that guy's idea, and the wiring is different, but it's in the same location. So on the Loyale, it is up in here under the glove box. Please don't ask me how I got my glove box out. I really don't remember, and I'm going to have fun putting it back in because it's been several months since I did this. It's up on the shelf. I still have it. I just haven't put it back in. So I was having troubles with my blower motor. I still need to figure out what's up with the wiring on that. There's something going on there. So I didn't bother putting all this back together. But, which is good because now I can do this video. So, on the xt6, I followed the wiring diagram, found all the wires that I needed to find. Wiring diagram. Millennials, I'm sorry, you might not know what I'm talking about. It's this cool piece of paper. Yes, the corpse of a dead tree. That has directions on it. Tells you where the wires go and stuff, and what colors they are. So, this connector, see you got these two guys off here, I put those on there. These are the wires that you want to connect. You've got a red with black line, and a blue, looks like it has a black line as well. Yes, a blue with a black line coming out of this funky harness here with the black connector right there. Let's get a better shot of with some more lighting in here. So you can see that. And so I've connected those two wires together. Back tracing what this guy did with the Loyal, and it works. My compressor turns on, and I can have AC once I fix my compressor. It did work. I just toasted my compressor. Sorry. And then I put the connectors in, so if I did somehow manage to find a speed sensor to make everything back to stock, I can easily do that. All I gotta do is unplug those and plug those into the correct connectors underneath there. I did find a AC compressor for my car. Beware, there are a lot of AC compressors that are listed as saying they fit the xt6, but do not believe those. The XT 1.8 liter turbo or NA compressor is completely different from the xt6 compressor. It is not the same. The mounting is not the same. The pulley's not the same. Ugh. I actually ordered one. That was a waste of 70 bucks. And yeah, it did not fit. So this is what you're looking for on an xt6 if you want to go factory. So you got your mounting tab there. You got 2 bolt holes there. These are where your lines bolt in, and your compressor clutch wiring right there. So you have to use your original connector and splice the wires. I do recommend soldering and heat shrinking. Please guys, don't twist the wires together and tape them. I used to do that. I'm guilty, I know. It's easy, but then you're chasing wiring issues down in your car later on. Or, in my case, I had a friend flip a toggle switch. Well, he actually twisted the toggle switch in my dash and caught my truck on fire. Because I didn't have proper fusing or anything like that. I ripped the wire out real quick, so it didn't burn to the ground, but it was a scary moment. So wiring, very important. Do it right. If you can't solder the wires together, at least do a crimp connection with a heat shrink so that you can seal it up. And that'll at least keep the water out and whatnot. But that's the closest substitute to a solder and heat shrink. And that's just for you guys who can't solder. Don't worry, a lot of people can't. I won't hold it against you. But there's my shiny new compressor. I'll be ready to go on. When I put that on, I found this online. You can fill the system with 134A. You can't really get R12 anymore. This is what this system takes, is R12. But this guy right here, FR12, this is a replacement for R12 that was developed. And this cools just as good as R12, is from what I hear. I haven't actually used it, so I can't say it for sure, but it's designed to work in an R12 system. If you put 134A in an R12 system, the pressures are different. And if you look down at what's left of my condenser, you can see it's actually pretty small by today's standards. The R12 condensers were smaller. You didn't need that much surface area to transfer the heat, so they had smaller condensers. If you do run 134A, it may work fine. A lot of the systems, it works just fine, but some of them you may find that you need to put in an upgraded larger condenser in to get proper cooling. So you could just do the 134A and you got a little AC, you're good, or maybe it works fine. I haven't actually done it, so I can't tell you for sure. Just, you could do that, save some money, go with that. You could use R12, like I'm going to, and that stuff is larger particles too. 134A leaks. It will leak out faster out of an R12 system. Just so you know, you will be refreshing your system more often than what most people do, because these don't have a double barrier hose like the new cars do. So they have a double barrier hose. There's like an extra layer or something inside there, and that keeps the smaller particles from leaking out. So the R12 particles are much larger. They don't leak as easily. And this FR12 is a replacement, like I said, but it's supposed to be better for the environment than actual R12, and it operates very similar. It's just not as cheap as 134A or as readily available as 134A. Now, finding tools to work on a R12 system, near to impossible. So what I found is this guy. Punctures the can to the side. It's got a seal on it. So I'm not going to puncture it till I'm ready to fill the system. And I actually need another one of these cans. Because I originally bought this when the AC was working, and I was just going to top it off. Well, now I need to clean out all the lines and do a full recharge with the proper oil and stuff put into the lines for the compressor. Make sure to put oil in your compressor, the proper amount and all that, otherwise you'll smoke a compressor. Not fun. And so that guy, it also has an adapter, so you can go to the smaller diameter cans, and it locks once it grabs on. You can't use it for anything else while it's like that. It's stuck on that can till that can is empty. But it's relatively cheap. Found that on eBay, I think. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I think this was $35 for a bottle on eBay. And yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I bought. You have an R12 system. You got R12 fittings. So you need the 134A adapter fittings. So you get those. And then I bought myself that's hidden in my tool closet, a manifold gauge set. And that way I can charge the system. And one of the next purchases I have to buy is a vacuum pump. If you want your AC to work for a long time, you need to pull a vacuum on the system. If it's been opened and everything's drained out of it, you need to pull a vacuum on the system to get all the moisture out of it and all the air. That way it doesn't rot the lines from the inside out and all that. So I need to buy a vacuum pump and run that for shoot, I usually do that for an hour or something. Well, actually I think I used to do it for like a half hour. Just run the vacuum pump, it'll suck all the bad stuff right out of it, all the air and moisture from the humidity, all that right out of the system. And then it leaves that vacuum on there, so when you go to put your oil in, it just suck it right into the system. You don't have to pump it or any of that. And that's pretty much it. I haven't really planned so well on this video. Yeah, so that's the AC modification and a little more information about the compressor and how you might want to recharge your system, all that. I hope this was helpful. Just keep on wrenching.